This is First Warning Weather.
Welcome back. We're looking at the Cornell sky cam here to get started. Chilly up in Ithaca this morning, just 9 degrees last time we checked. It is going to get back up into the 30s for a good chunk of us. Some of us will stay in those mid to upper 20s, but overall temperature, not the focus today. It's that snow headed our way later on in the evening, temperature-wise right now at least, so pretty stark differences across the area. 20 in Dansville, the northwest, but the northeast, 9 in Ithaca, next door in Watkins Glen, about 17, 18 in Corning, a little bit warmer in Wellsboro, 19 degrees here this morning. So looking at right now what we're seeing alert-wise, winter weather advisory not in effect right now, goes into effect about 4 o'clock later on this afternoon until 7 a.m. Sunday morning. Not a very long-term advisory, and luckily for us, this storm system, most of the activity happening late overnight, so we'll be out of sight, out of mind for most of us, but still expecting some decent accumulations from this system as it starts to make its way into the region. Overcast right now, likely to stay that way for a good chunk, about 90–95% of the day. We'll be dealing with overcast skies. Might get a few peaks of sunshine here in the morning, but don't expect too much sun as we make our way through our Saturday. Now we look at these temperatures, at least for what we're expecting. Again, southern tier, low 30s, northern tier, better chance you see temperatures just shy of 30 by maybe 1 degree, a few degrees. Later tonight, how cold's it going to get? Really not that much. With all those overcast skies, the snow going to do a pretty decent job at keeping temperatures decently above average, at least in terms of lows. Lots of 23s on the map. Low 20s seems like the name of the game as we continue to deal with that late snowfall. Speaking of that snowfall, it's coming around sunset. That's a good time, at least for some of us, when we'll see at least things start to kick off. Some sleet may come in. It depends on how far north, I should say, that warm air pushes up into the region, and the areas most susceptible to that, the northern tier. And precip ending near the time we get to sunrise tomorrow. That, of course, includes your snow, your sleet, and potential freezing drizzle. In terms of accumulations, 2 inches on the low end, high ends looking more like 5 inches with localized amounts upwards around 6 inches, 4 to 5 o'clock for some of the southernmost portions of the viewing area. Think 5 to 6 if you're in Hornell, Bath, Corning, Elmira, Troy, and Towanda. Vast majority of the viewing area starting anywhere from 5 to 6. 6 to 7 as you go into the further northern and eastern portions of the viewing area. That's, of course, Watkins Glen, Ithaca, Owego, and then anything further east of that. Now, first scenario, we see the snowy scenario where we see a little bit more of at least more snow coming in. Stays cold, lots of this blue on the map, and that frozen precipitation stays further south. The southernmost portions of the viewing area would get the vast majority of that sleet and potential freezing drizzle. The second scenario that comes around is where the warm air pushes further up into the region. Now, same start time around that 4, 5, 6 o'clock window. Still a lot of snow, but then look at all this. Frozen precipitation starts to push in to the area, and that does curtail some of the snow totals in the area, especially in the northern tier. Now, the prevailing belief with this storm, more of the snow happening in the southern tier compared to the northern tier. 6 inches certainly going to be like that high-end number, and those higher elevation numbers, think 4 to 5 in the southern tier, 3 to 4 in the northern tier. With this system, 32 the expected high as we go throughout the rest of our day. Think overcast skies and snow starting in right around when the sun is starting to go down. And for the rest of the 7-day, you've got at least a little bit more of a change for Monday, a nice little break from the action before we get right back into it. Another low pressure system headed our way on Tuesday, bringing us some more snow accumulations for Wednesday, and Thursday may have a wintry mix in store later next week.